An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint.
An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint. Okay. Yeah, so exoplanet. Now, I think the word is out there already, but this is a tough one. Everything else is easy. And, that, the, all, the. It's easy, right? Now, there are other, anytime there's a new vocabulary word, image is an easy word, but imaged, that might be new, right? As a verb, right? Really? As a past participle? Exoplanet again. Star so bright. Lots of people left off the S. Okay. The star's so bright. Yeah, lots of people left off the S. Is so. The planet is so. The planet is so. Planet is so. Planet is. Planet is. That's tough. Is so. Faint. All right. And once again, F-A, not E, F-A-I-N-T. I apologize. That's my problem. Let's go back here. A-N, what's the pronunciation? N, like engine. Make it quick. An exo. It's an K-S. An exoplanet is a planet. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. Over 90% of all the exoplanets, over 90% of all, we don't need the T, we can keep it, percent of, but typically we cancel, percent of all the exoplanets that have been discovered that have, the A is there, but the H isn't, 7 H's. That have, flap T, right? That have exoplanets that have, this S makes it really tough. Exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged. Because the star's so bright, because the Z. Here the S is making this TH tough. Here the Z is making the TH tough. Because the star's so bright, and the planet is so faint. What's the opposite of faint? Here's my question. First question. What's the opposite of faint? You better give me the answer I want. Maybe won't. All right. 2 times. Here we go. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. I just explained. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged. They can't really take a photograph, but they can take x-rays and things like that to get a good idea of the planet. But they haven't done, over 90% actually have not really been imaged. Because, why? Because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint. You can't really see it, okay? I have a scar. I was looking for my scar the other day. I have a scar on this finger. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. The scar is very faint. You can't see it. Something very difficult to see is very faint. If you live in the city and you look up at the night sky, you can see the moon. But can you see the stars? Yeah. In a big city? Not really, because it's hard because there's so many city lights, right? So because of the lights, the stars are very faint. Now, I live in the country, and at nighttime, if I look out into the sky, I can see a lot of stars. They're still faint, but a lot of stars, okay? So if something is faint, it's very difficult to see. And we'll talk about that again a little bit later. Right here, we'll talk about it now. Can faint be used with smell? Yeah, faint smell. Did somebody fart? There's a faint smell, something bad. Sound, a faint sound. What is that sound? Is that a mouse? There's a faint taste of cinnamon. A little tiny bit taste of cinnamon. Yeah, so especially with these three, a faint touch, not so much that one. What are the senses? We got sight, which we're talking about, hard to see, smell, sound, and taste. These four are common, but with touch, a faint touch, yeah, we can say it too. A very faint touch, it's possible. But they work. This word works perfectly with these senses. Yes.
An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint. An exoplanet is a planet that orbits another star. Over 90% of all the exoplanets that have been discovered have not actually been imaged because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint.